Well, good evening. Oh, good evening. Welcome to another second edition of Southampton Bants and Rants, otherwise known as Amateur Hour. Lots to talk about. This is the evening of the Preston North End game. We haven't been chatting we've had 4 games now where we've had to sit through. So we'll quickly skim over the first 3 games and then we'll get into some nitty gritty because there is a lot to talk about. So I'm going to hold my hands up. I've listened to a few of the games. I think I was working for the Swansea game. I didn't go to the Bristol game because I was working for that. And what was the other one? Blackburn. I didn't go away. But I know you two went to both Swansea and Bristol. And you didn't go to Blackburn, but I think you may have watched it, Lee, Dan, online. So I'll hand over to you. You can talk about the 3 games, and then we'll go on to today, which was a riveting watch. So over to you. I don't know who wants to start.
Yeah, where do you start trying to cast the mind back? Swansea was, I think, a quite impressive game. We just didn't score. You know, the stats on that game were ridiculous. Went to Bristol on the Tuesday night and ended up, the best bit being about it was Ollie falling asleep in the back of the car on the way home, sprawled out, and Lee and I getting lost and following diversions for about 45 minutes, which was a disappointing game. You know, I don't know what your thoughts are, Lee.
I think, just to cover it quickly, Swansea, we played well. We made a lot of chances. In another situation, in a season where we've won games, when you have a game like that, you just don't score. In isolation, you go, one of those days. But given the context of the season, I mean, it was a disaster. And then you go to Bristol, and for 15, 20 minutes until we scored, we were superb. Almost possibly the best I've seen us play this season. And then we score, and it just all goes to pot. I don't know whether they get nervous. They just sat back. They invited the pressure on, and it just went wrong. And from sort of, you could almost say, from the moment we scored against Bristol, it's gone wrong since, because Blackburn was poor. I know we went 1 goal up, and Adam Armstrong missed a couple of one-on-ones, didn't he? As usual, I think Ronnie Edwards scored, and it was onside. That's what you get in the Championship. We then went to complete pot in the second half. We've lost that game, and we come out of those 3 games with 1 point, which is just not good enough. Just not good enough for where we need to be and where we want to be. So yeah, we were all pretty hopeful going into them, and then we get 1 point out of 9. Swansea, whatever you say about Swansea, we played pretty well, and then it's just gone progressively worse.
What were our predictions, Matt? We done some predictions on the first episode.
So our predictions were based on the 3 games: Swansea, Bristol, and Blackburn.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan, you had 3 wins out of 3, 9 points. Lee, you had 2 wins and a draw. I can't remember which you said, and I had 5 points, so a win and 2 draws. Yeah. I think I had us to beat Swansea and draw the 2 away games, but I mean, coming away from those 3 games with 1 point is just unacceptable. And I've seen a few highlights. I mean, I haven't watched highlights. It's just too depressing. For the purpose of this pod, maybe I should have done. But the highlights for Swansea that I saw, the opening exchanges, we looked really good. We created a lot of chances. Adam Armstrong looked good. So to draw that, fine. But then, you know, Bristol City was always going to be a really difficult game. I mean, last time we went there in the Championship a few years ago, they did us 3-1 or 3-0, didn't they? And I think it brought to an end the 25 game unbeaten run, didn't it? But Blackburn being in the position they were in, you've got to go to Blackburn and not get beat. Minimum is not get beat. And the performance that we turned in was just heinous. So 1 point out of a possible 9, it's nowhere near good enough. But I think slowly as three games went on, the decisions that came from the manager just got more and more bizarre. You know, I don't know the ins and outs of the Bristol game, but certainly the Blackburn game. You know, you're winning 1-0, and you take off the best player on the pitch, Tienza, to bring Jack Stevens on, who, you know, not only as a manager are you're lining yourself up to be, you know, to get abuse because you're taking the best player on the pitch off, but you're putting on a player who's not played for 5 or 6 games, and you're playing him out of position. So not only are you causing problems for yourself, you're also actually throwing Jack Stevens under the bus a little bit by doing that. But by the end of the game, his in-game management just got stranger and stranger. And I think by the end of the game, nobody had a clue what anyone was doing, where anyone was playing. No. And it just became very disjointed and bitty, didn't it? And, you know, losing 2-1. I was sat at the driving range with my nipper and your nipper, Lee, and if anyone could have seen me, I must have thought, what a prick. I was sat at a table watching these 2 lads hit golf balls, and I had my arm up in the air with the radio because I could barely get any signal for radio. So, and I sat there like this, and people must have thought, what a tool. But as soon as it went 1-1, you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it played out exactly as everyone probably thought it was going to. The mentality of the team is shot. There is absolutely no confidence in the team whatsoever. I mean, it's evident for anyone to see that. And yeah, they were never going to hold on. They were never. As soon as he took Tienza off, he had to go and score a second goal to get the 3 points in that game, because the longer the game went on, you knew we would not hold on. And yeah, to go to Blackburn and get beat, but also get beat in the way in which we did. Yeah, big problems.
It's become a bit indicative of what the manager does. He can't make a like-for-like substitution. He'll take someone off, put someone on. He'll have to move someone from there to over here to accommodate the one he's brought. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, Azaz, obviously today, we're going to talk about today's match, but Azaz, he's turning out to be one of the biggest wastes of money we've ever spent. At this moment in time, he may well, you know, I mean, well, talking later down the line, he may well turn out to be a good player for us if we can get him firing. But I don't know how he stayed on the pitch. If you bring Jack Stevens on and he puts him in defence and moves Ronnie Edwards into midfield, because Ronnie Edwards played there for QPR last year, perhaps sort of see the thinking. But to stick Stevens in the middle of the park, and Stevens was dreadful. He didn't run, he didn't press, he didn't harry, he didn't tackle. You just as a fan, we all think we could manage, don't we? And we all think we could do better. But you're looking at it just thinking, what is going on? And then you've got the other things that happened during that game. Cam Bragg came on. Was that his debut?
Yeah.
Yeah. No name, no number. You know,
that is just amateur hour. Absolute amateur hour. So why couldn't Moses Cisse come up who'd already made his debut. Why didn't they take Joe Aribo, pay the extra 500 quid for the hotel room? Because quite obviously Downs and Yander were ill, feeling a bit under the weather. Joe, you coming up with us, mate?
Well,
it's poor. It's really tin pot and poor.
I think, to be fair to Will Steele, he said it wasn't until the morning of the game that Yander and Flynn Downs said that they were feeling poorly and they couldn't play. So by that point, Will Steele said in his presser that they didn't take Edozie and no, it wasn't Edozie, was it? It was Matsuki. They didn't take Matsuki and Joe Aribo because they'd already taken more than they should have done for the squad allowance or something. So it made sense logistically to get one of the under-21s from Leicester. I think the under-21s were playing Leicester. To get one of those over rather than Joe Aribo from all the way down here. But I mean,
But you
look at that Blackburn game, overall, and the bit that screams out to me is Cameron Archer gets injured.
Yeah.
And you bring him off and bring Ryan Fraser on. A lot of people argue with this, going, "Oh, you can't throw a youngster into the coalface a little bit." We don't have anything to lose, and he's been scoring goals for fun in PL2 as young Nicholas. Why not give him even about 60 minutes of just freedom to say, "Do you know what? Go and run, go and work hard, stay on the last man. Don't worry about coming deep. Don't worry about defending. Go and get me a goal. That's all I want you to do, or go and get me an assist." And it kills the game. But yet we bring on Wee Man, who has been a bit like a roller coaster so far this year. You don't know what you're going to get when you see him. He's either going to have an absolute worldie, or he's going to be the one that causes a mistake. Really. But yeah, don't get it. I know we'll come on to today, but giving the lad 10 minutes, I thought, to be honest, half time, I was thinking, do you know what? Bring on Aribo, Fellows, and the youngster, change it up, and just go, well, at least I'm trying. Bringing on Aribo, and to go back to Blackburn, I get why he couldn't be there and stuff like that. As soon as Aribo, people saw he was in the building, all over Twitter was Aribo's back, and there was a bit of a buzz just for one player, and that lifts the rest of the team. Why not fucking start him?
I mean, a big call to start him when he's not figured all season, has he? I mean, nobody knows apart from Will Steele, I suppose, what his fitness and conditioning levels are like. I mean, it would have been a massive U-turn, wouldn't it, from Will Steele to start him? I mean, I don't know what the situation is with Joe Aribo and Will Steele and the club behind the scenes. I mean, obviously something has gone on because he's I don't think he's even been training with the first team. He's been
apparently he has. Apparently him and Adobe have been in the group. I saw this week.
Right.
They have been in the group the entire time, but they just sort of had it made pretty clear that they weren't part of the furniture for match days. And obviously Adozie's now got injured as well. By the way, 5 weeks out. I don't know if you heard that the other day.
Yeah. I mean, when Cam Archer went off, that was the second half, wasn't it? It was
half an hour to go.
Yeah,
half an hour to go. So he had half an hour to go. By which point we were 1-up, weren't we? So personally, if I was in charge at that point, I'll be fair to Will Steele. I can't get a win for love nor money, and I'm finding myself 1-0 up in this game. Now, I can either bring on a young 18-year-old kid who's not made a senior debut yet, and there is a chance it would go my way, and he might get a goal. But I don't know that. He could come onto the pitch and get absolutely swallowed up by the occasion, which is what I said to you about today, Lee, didn't I? So do I take that chance, or do I pump for somebody that's got lots and lots of experience I know I can trust him to come on and do a job. He's done that, and he's played safe.
Yeah,
it is what he's done.
It hasn't worked for him, is it? Because Weeman was atrocious.
Yeah.
It was sideways, backwards. Didn't make one cross. Didn't affect the game in any way.
No.
Now, I stuck up for a player earlier, and I'll own up to this one. We had a bit of a disagreement, didn't we? And I, for the sake of another pod, and I said, I thought they were a bit harsh on Ryan Manning. Thought dog shit was a bit strong. You two came back at me, go, no. And I went, well, actually, the rest of the team's been absolutely crap as well. Today, he was absolutely, apart from 3 or 4 really good crosses, but we don't have the striker to get on the end of them. We don't have a striker that's going to gamble to get on the end of them. So it's almost pointless crossing it at this point in time.
Yeah.
He was crap. And so I would just like to publicly apologise, and I am very much on board the Ryan Manning is dog shit train.
Are we moving on to today then?
Wow.
Oh. Well, I was just going to say, do you want to talk about his presser a few days ago and like the build up to today?
Talk about Cienza's one more than any, to be honest, Matt, because I've listened to that a few times, that interview, whilst doing various jobs, and got you hyped. I think it's the player we've all been screaming for, and I think we hope to see a reaction. I think even Will Still's presser was, a little bit more fiery than what we've had. We've had words, we've made them watch videos, they've had some home truths, and I think finally we're thinking, well, what's going to come of this then? I don't know what you two sort of read into his words.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He was certainly a little bit more punchy. And I mean, I spoke about this on the way to the ground today. The thing, if we were winning, his quite dour, laid back sort of the way he speaks wouldn't be an issue. But because it's going wrong, the fact he is quite sort of dour and laid back, I guess he's quite quiet and quite monotone, isn't it? It winds you up, and you want to see him come in with a bit of Cienza Brazilian attitude and giving it beans, basically. And he doesn't. He's just like, well, yeah. It's like, no, Will, come on, fire us up, get us going. And he was a little bit more like that in the press conference. We've had words. It's time, buck our ideas up. We've got to kick on now, etc., etc. So it was a bit more like we wanted to hear. And then couple that with the Cienza interview, where the blokes come over from, he's Brazilian and he's giving it beans, and we love it. And he was fantastic today. But nobody else was.
I mean, I thought Will Still's presser, he was a bit more punchy, and he said they'd had words and some home truths had been spoken about, like you said, Lee, and I think he gets knocked a little bit for his tone and his demeanor and whatever, but I just think he's a pretty laid back, fairly quietly spoken bloke. I think to get him in the public limelight to be animated and spitting expletives and what have you, I don't think you're ever going to see that. I mean, we've had that before, haven't we? With like Nathan Jones coming out and talking absolute nonsense, and Russell Martin, completely, backing himself. And I mean, you're going from different levels all the time, aren't you? Will Still is. I've got no problem with Will Still's sort of demeanor in interviews. He's just calm, laid back, sort of says it how it is, and he's not afraid to answer questions. I mean, at the end of the day, we're shit. What can he say? He's got nothing to spit. He's got nothing to get foamed at the mouth about. We're not doing anything to get any sort of excitement out of him. I mean, we're shit. He must watch the videos of the game back and think, oh my God, what are we? We are dreadful.
but
He
we're
must
really
watch
good
that.
in training.
Well, yeah, that didn't help himself. I mean,
Dreadful comment that was.
yeah,
Dreadful.
that's not. He's not helping himself there. But I mean, and then you get to the game and you see in the program today, you know, he's reiterating, oh, you know, well, I've got it on my phone. I sent it to you, didn't I? His final few paragraphs in his match notes. You know, we need to be on it. You know, we've got to forget the past and we've got to pick ourselves up and blah blah blah. You know, it always comes back to what's happened in the past, and I don't know, but personally, listening to him talking in his recent press conference and reading his notes, I think he's got a problem in that dressing room. I think he's got a handful of players down there that are not keen on him, have maybe shipped it in. And that little rumor that went around on the internet a month or so ago, 6 weeks ago, where it was a couple of senior players have gone to their club chairman and voiced their concerns over the manager. Watching today's game and watching a few of those players in previous games, I can totally see that being us. Because, I mean, I guess we'll get onto it now. Today, during that game, there was one or two that I reckon have phoned it in. I'm going to say it. Ryan Manning was the worst I've ever seen him today. He has phoned it in. He has 100% phoned it in. And if I was the manager and I watched his performance back, I wouldn't play him again. I think he was that bad. You know, he just couldn't do anything right. Long balls, aimless long balls, couldn't pass the ball. I mean, his defending was dreadful.
I mean, there's one from kickoff, wasn't there? You know, straight from kickoff, it went to Manning, and it went out for a goal kick, and it was like, what are you? It kind of set the tone for him, didn't it? That really. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't make the game today. You know, just really quick question for you two. Leo and Will both mentioned around it. We need the fans and all of this good stuff. Atmosphere-wise, you know, there was 1,000 Preston fans. There's a long way to go, and so fair play to 1,000 of those that made it down. What was the atmosphere like? Kickoff, before kickoff?
Not great. What was there? 25,000 fans today.
27, I think.
27. It was just flat. It was just flat. And I said to Matt after 5 minutes, I looked at him and we were like, just no atmosphere, is there? And we said, no, but what have the players given us in the first 5 minutes? Surely as the home team, you go, right, get out, 5 minutes, I want a couple of early long shots, get the crowd going, you know, big tackles, anything, just get the crowd going. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing. You know, Cienza is the only player who seems to have any sort of ability to beat a man and get the crowd even remotely up.
Yeah.
Adam Armstrong, terrible. He was not good today. But Jan, there was 3 players for me on that pitch who came off with any sort of credit. And I thought Harwood Bellis had a decent game. I thought Yander had a decent game. And I thought Cienza had a decent game. Other than that, I think you just Flynn Downs. Careful with him.
He started blowing around. He had a couple of moments where it was like, "Oh, can you?" Yeah. And then he went sideways, and it was.
This guy was the best player in the Championship 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, is he carrying this knock, this knee injury? Is he slightly injured? Is he not feeling great, or is he just phoning it in? He should be one of the best midfielders in the league. And Yander is outplaying him by a long way.
Well, I said to you, I sent you both a text, didn't I, today during the game. Flynn Downs has got the ability to get hold of that game and dictate it. And he just disappeared. Now, I know he's not played for weeks and weeks, and it baffles me why Will Still has not played him. I mean, I find that totally bizarre, as you've said. 2 years ago in the Championship, he was probably the best player in the league. But he just floats in and out of the game. He was there 1 minute, and then the next he smashed into a couple of players early on, didn't he? And I said, Julie, he's going to get booked in a minute, and then he's useless to us. But he didn't. But he's just not getting hold of the game. I mean, the atmosphere was dreadful. I mean, walking to the game, we got absolutely drenched, didn't we? It just had a funny feeling about it. The weather was dark and miserable, and you just got in the ground and it was flat, like you said, Lee. And no, I don't know. We're such a tin pot club, aren't we? The pre-match stuff is just crap, and just even the sausage rolls are crap. And,
don't even go there.
That made my day.
It was an absolute disgrace. I tell you, why have they gotten rid? You've started me now.
I know. I did it on purpose.
Last year's sausage rolls. They had the little Saints badge on. They were meaty. They were perfect. These, I think. Oh,
yeah.
No, the atmosphere. The atmosphere. I think I'm going to give credit to the Saints fans, because I was expecting it to be toxic pretty early on today, and I'll give credit to the Saints fans. The first 5 minutes, I was expecting us, like you said, Lee, I was expecting us to really come out and have a go at them. It didn't. First 5 minutes, it was all Preston, and then for the next 10 minutes, we got back into it a bit more, I think. But after that, it was just abysmal. I mean,
it took half an hour, didn't it, for the first sort of groans and the first come along. And as soon as the groans happened, they scored. Yeah.
I mean, but to be, I think the Saints fans up until that point were they were quiet. There was no real singing or anything. People were being patient, maybe waiting for something to happen. But as soon as they scored, I mean, it was boos and ringing round Sport Republic, get out of our club, and sack the board, and you can't argue with it. And then they got booed off at half time, didn't they? But honestly, it has to be one of the worst first 45 minutes I've seen down there for a long, long time. And I mean, I thought the Nathan Jones stuff was pretty dire, but we just had nothing about us. And Will Steele's promised us this high pressing, high energy football. I said to you, Lee, didn't I? I haven't seen us press at all.
Nope.
Not at all. There is no pressing from our players whatsoever.
Not as a unit.
No. And at times it was almost like we were all sat in our half, and at times it was like we were the away team waiting for the home team to, have a go at us. I mean, it was just dire. Absolutely dire.
I genuinely believe that Will Steele has been caught out. He's come from France, where the games there are very open from the start. Both teams are going at it. And so if your team you can drive them into a low block and counter, that's what he wants to try and do. But teams are doing that to us from the off. They're going, have the ball. You're not going to hurt us. At one stage, I think Adam Blackmore said it brilliantly on commentary. Roslev was on the right wing, and there's 4 Preston people just stood there looking at him going, what are you going to do then, mate? And he, guess what? Went backwards. Because they were like, you're not going to take us on.
Yeah.
And the message just, like you say, Cienzo was the only person trying to take people on. Jay Robinson, when he came on, he had a couple of little moments. I mean, if that bloke's meathead doesn't get in the way, that's probably taking the net off. And was a great strike, really unlucky. Fellows, couple of things, didn't really think that he kept running out of space, really. Tried to make things happen, was always forcing it. You're not Messi. You can't change a game on your own. The build, I sent you boys a picture in our chat. I genuinely wanted to go to sleep at one point because I was just like, what on earth is the point in watching this? It's just, I don't know where we go. If I said this, probably just before we came on here, if we're going to make a change of manager, we have to do it tomorrow morning or tonight, and we have to have someone appointed by 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Nottingham Forest style, and be cutthroat. Or the board have to do what the board at Plymouth Argyle have done with Cleverly and back him so we know where we stand.
Yeah.
And then we can hold the board accountable at the end of January. If they come out and say, right, we're sticking with Will still. Yes, it's a tough time. We know it is. We're going to do everything we can to change that now. But also, we are going to give him the money to go and get 2 or 3 players that he wants. And I want them to use that wording that Will still wants in January. And if they don't at the end of January, guess who we can all point the finger at? We can all point the finger at Sport Republic.
But they won't do that, though, for that very reason.
Of course they won't. But you look at the Norwich fans today. Don't know if you lads have seen it on Twitter. They were stopping their players leaving the car park after the game, standing in there, stopping the directors leaving the director's box. Police have had to line it all and like get people out and stuff like that because they're actually protesting. I drove past 6:15 this evening. No one there. You know, so we've all gone home and we're all going to have our moan, and that's fine. I get it. The only way we're going to hurt Sport Republic and they're actually going to listen is if we hurt them with their wallets and stop going. Until we do that, they don't care if you leave in the 80th minute. You've already been there. You already bought your burnt sausage roll and your pint and your lad a packet of crisps. They've got their money. As soon as people stop going and stop spending that 10, 20 quid a week, they'll soon realise it hurts. You know, and that's home games. Obviously, money for away games is different because obviously a lot of it goes to the other club. So, you know, let's pack out away games, boycott home. It's the only answer, but we won't do it.
No, I mean, yeah, I came away from that ground today and I just was like, I mean, the second goal, to be fair to Will Steele, he'd made as many attacking changes as he could make, you know, to try and get a goal. And, you know, I think in the end, he had like one central midfielder on the pitch, didn't he, in Joe Aribo, and the rest in front of him was just attacking players. And you knew that if they conceded the ball, then they get in behind, you know, we're done because we've committed ourselves going forward.
You say that, there were still 4 Saints players in the box when they scored.
Well, yeah.
I don't know why I've leant forward to say that.
I was cracking up then.
But you know, we had committed players forward, didn't we, to try and get the goal. But even when we had all these attacking players on the pitch, you know, we never looked like scoring, and it was so pedestrian. It was so slow in getting the ball into the box, you know, and whenever we struggle, we get back to this sideways, back. And that seems to be our little comfort blanket where, oh no, I don't know what to do with it. You know, I'm scared about giving the ball away, so I'll pass it back or sideways, you know. And is that drummed into him from the Russell Martin era?
Russell Martin.
Probably is, isn't it? But so I think, to be fair to Will Steele, he did at least try and make the changes to affect it in some way and create some sort of attacking threat. But we're just so bad. Honestly, I can't see what we're doing. I cannot see any form of attacking play or style or I don't know what he wants to do.
Agreed.
You know, he, as I said earlier, he promised us high press, high energy, lots of crosses into the box. No point putting crosses into the box when you got Adam Armstrong in the box. You know, I just can't see where it's going. But I mean, to finish off, should we finish off talking about today's game and then we can move on to the others? Coming away from the ground, I haven't gone down to St Mary's in a long time now, thinking we're going to win a game. Wrexham, I thought, right, you've got to get out there and you got to chuck everything at them and let's start the season strong. And we got the win, and that was great. And then it's just snowballed after that, hasn't it? I mean, I haven't been since the playoff semi-final against West Brom. I haven't been down that ground and enjoyed it. I haven't been down there really with any positivity at all.
No.
It's been that bad, you know. And last season was so bad. And I know we say we shouldn't talk about last season, but it was so bad that I think it's affected not only the players, I think it's affected the staff from bottom to top. And I think there is an ingrained losing mentality that just accepts it now. It's so bad. Everybody at the club just accepts that we are bad and we lose. That's just what we do. We're Saints, we're losers. You know.
Yeah, but getting back to Still and the lack of patterns of play, whatever. He's bought Azaz and Fellows, right?
Well, the club have bought them. I don't think Will Still's.
The fact remains, whether he's bought, the fact remains, they are two over the last couple of seasons. Between them, they are two of the highest performers in terms of goal assists, goal actions, whatever you want to call it. Right? Again, this is something we discussed, Matt, on the way to the ground. He has to find a way of getting them in the team. Now, Azaz today was woeful, absolutely woeful. However, I got called out a little bit on Twitter when I said it. He played 3 at the back at home to Preston in a must-win game, which I think is unforgivable. He should have stuck with his 4-2-3-1. He should have kept playing Fellows. He should have kept playing Azaz, and he should have bedded them into the team. You can't give him half an hour here, 10 minutes there, start this game, hook him. No player on the planet is going to get into a rhythm of playing.
No.
And he played him today. He was sort of, it was almost like he played Armstrong up front with Cienza and Azaz behind.
Yeah.
In almost 2 free roles. And Azaz is, do you remember it was put in the first half? Do you remember when he got beaten by the defender? And the defender just ghosted past him like he was playing against 43-year-old me. It was pathetic.
Mm. Yeah.
It's just, I don't think they're playing for him. I honestly don't. I think they might be given 95%, but that last little bit where Roy Keane would always goes 2 yards, man. yeah, but they're not doing it, are they?
No.
Whether it's subconscious or not, they are not killing themselves. We had 4 players in the box for that second goal, and not one of them killed themselves.
No, I mean their goal. You could argue there's an element of luck.
Ronnie Edwards got turned in the box. It was pathetic.
Yeah, like I said, the first one, you could argue there's an element of luck, the way the ball dropped. Again, it just seems to drop to their striker, doesn't it? Jumps over someone, and there's nothing McCarthy could do. I don't really think there's anything he could do for either of them today. Apart from that, he didn't really have a busy day, did he?
No.
Everything was. It was just a dull game.
Yeah.
It had a recipe. I mean, my prediction. Wow. I don't know if I'm just trying to be optimistic.
What was your prediction?
I can't remember now. But I don't know if I'm optimistic or stupid. Yes, it was 4-0. But again, my prediction was based on the fact that everything that had come out this week, going, Leo's got them fired up in the change room. It was raining, and I thought, Flynn Downs, do you know what? Even if you do get booked in the first 10 minutes, go and put it on someone and let them know that you're here and that you're going to control the game today. And almost, I wouldn't even care if it was a bit, he won the ball, it's a bit of afters, and he gets booked for something really stupid. But I'd love to see him on camera giving it a bit to another player, like he did 2 years ago. He was always sort of that in someone's ear going, shit house. You could guarantee he was. And he's just not that player now. But hey, it's another loss. It's 3 losses on the bounce. Oh, it's not looking good. It really is not looking good. And I know we said it last time, even more so now. It has to change. Blackburn have gone and beat us, so we can see what a win does for a team. Sorry, Matt, go on.
I just wanted to finish off by saying, I know I said it, but I think coming away from that ground today, I think he's lost. I think he's lost a section of that dressing room. I think Ryan Manning and Flynn Downs have phoned it in.
Yeah.
And I think he's up against that now. And out of character, Wood was uncharacteristically poor today. And then when he walks off the pitch and he's given it to the home fans, that's not a good sign for me. I think he's got a faction within that dressing room now. He's lost, and it is the Russell Martin boys. I think it is Manning, Howard Bellis, Downs,
Stevens.
I mean, what has Jack Stevens? You know, he's fifth in the pecking order now for centre backs. You know, and he's I know he's not particularly great, but at least he's an experienced old head in there, and he's some sort of leader. We are leaderless. And anyway, I just wanted to finish the Blackburn stuff for me by saying, today's game. I just wanted to finish off by saying I think there's a couple of those players that phoned it in today. I mean, Ryan Manning, that's as bad as I've ever seen him, and I think he was half-assed today, and I think Flynn Downs was as well.
What is the outcome after today? What do you both think? Is he will still be here tomorrow? And if he does go, there's a two-part question. Who would you want as his replacement? Is going to be my first one, and the second one is, take what you would want out of the equation. Who do you think the club will put in if they do get rid of him?
I think they're I think the board are staring down the barrel a bit here, because I think he's certainly lost a section of the fans. Now, it was good today that the fans were directing their anger towards the board, which I think is needed to be done for a long time. But ultimately, as we know, the fall guy will always be the manager. Matt's absolutely right. I agree with him. I think he's lost a section of the players, and he's lost the fans. And Adam Blackmore, to coin Adam Blackmore's phrase, he's run out of credit. Currency is what he called it, didn't he? He's run out of currency. You know, QPR Wednesday night is a difficult game. And then there's Sheffield Wednesday next week. Now, that is a recipe for disaster right away, because that should be 100% banker win. And you know exactly what's going to happen. They've improved since, what's his face, Chanziri, since he's gone.
Yep.
The fans are back on board. They're playing better. That's not an easy game.
So, Lee, is Will still going to be the guy in charge come the QPR game? Or are they going to have someone new in, and who would they have in? And who?
No, I think they'll keep it. I don't think he'll go before the international break. And I look back at last season. I went to Wolves. You and I went to Wolves, Dan, and I took my youngest. We were dreadful that day.
Yeah, you were, Matt. Yeah, Matt was there. Yeah, it was freezing.
We were dreadful. Russell Martin should have gone that day, and they didn't. They hung on and they hung on and they hung. If it were me and it was my decision, he'd be gone tonight. And I think what it needs now is it needs a name. Now, I don't necessarily mean a big name manager like Ferguson.
Mourinho.
Yeah, Mourinho. What I mean is they need someone that the players can look at and go, wow, they're going to listen to him. I said this to Matt today. I harken back to our cousin's an ex-football agent. We'll try and get him on here, actually. He'd be quite good on it. I remember once upon a time he said to me, the problem with football managers is unless you've played the level that you are managing, the players will look at you and go, in the bad moments when it's going wrong, will look at you when you're trying to tell them something, they go, what the fuck do you know? You've never played at this level. I can fully imagine those players we discussed today looking at Will Still when he's trying to tell them something, going, you've never played at this level, mate. Jog on.
Yeah.
So for me, it needs someone whether that's Michael Carrick, whether that's Steven Gerrard, whether that's, a player of that description who can start saying something, the players go, really? He'll open up his jacket and have all his winners' medals and go, been there, done it, got the T-shirt, lads, do as I'm saying. Now, someone like Gerrard would come in and I think he'd give everybody a lift. He's a winner with a capital W. He'd be the best player in training, make himself available for matches. But I'm not suggesting, a player like Gerrard would come in. Even Lee Carsley, under 21 manager for England, he did the England senior team. They played well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Southgate would be a dream.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
So who would you? So would you want Gerrard? Is that?
If it was down to me and I was at the purse strings, I'd get Steven Gerrard. Okay. However, I don't think they will.
No.
But then
who do you think they would get? And if they sack him tonight or tomorrow morning, who do they go and get?
I would say Gerrard, because I think he'd be able to.
Who do you actually think the club? Because they won't. Do you actually think they would go and get Gerrard?
No, I think it would be some oik from Europe somewhere that no one's ever heard of. He's cheap. He's out of a job. There you go. And they're trying to find the second coming of Pochettino, aren't they? No one have really heard of him. But even Pochettino, World Cup. He played the World Cup. A very, very good player. People listen to him. Would Ralph come back? I don't think Ralph would come back to this lot after they sacked him. I mean, he would be. I mean, it ended in a bad way with Ralph, but generally when managers leave, it does end poorly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And managers can go back. Look at what's his face from Sheffield United. He's back in his third time now. They can go back. Ralph is a big personality. Ralph wouldn't put up with any shit. And I think he galvanised us once before. He could probably do it again. Different players, different circumstances, I know. But anyway, my dream appointment would be Gerrard. I think he'd come in and he'd lift every. Imagine Flynn Downs. Steven Gerrard talking to Flynn Downs.
Yep.
That's what I would do. I probably would take a Carrick as well. So I think Carrick is a similar sort of thing. Players would listen. But if it were me, it'd be Gerrard. Or Warner.
Or Warner, of course. Matt, so to recap, because, captain talk a lot, went on a bit there, are they going to get rid of him tonight or tomorrow? Or does he stay in charge until at least the international? Who would you want in? And who do you think they would actually get in if they do decide to get rid of Will Still?
I'm going to read you Adam Blackmore's tweet straight after the game, because I think it's quite sad. This is the saddest I've seen St Mary's in 2 decades. Even previous relegations and administration didn't feel any worse than this at Saints. I'm not sure how Will Still fixes this. He's fast running out of currency. However much I'd like him to do well. A dreadful day. And that sums it up. And going forward, we listened to Will Still's post-match interview, Lee, didn't we, in the car on the way home? And he is starting to throw those players under the bus a little bit. He talked about, Adam Blackmore asked him about recruitment. Have you been let down by the club with the recruitment? And he refused to answer it. He said, but what he did say was, it doesn't matter how much talent you've got, because hard work beats talent. So he's throwing those players under the bus a little bit by insinuating that they're not working hard enough. Now, that for me says he's got a problem. He's got a problem in that we're into November and those players are still not doing what he wants them to do. So that says to me there's a problem down there. So I don't think there's any way he comes back from this, because he hasn't got the players. As much as people say, it's one of the best squads in the league, I don't think it is. I mean, it's a talented squad, but it's a young, inexperienced squad. And I don't think the club have helped him enough. They haven't got the striker that we've all been craving for years. So I'm sort of I'm not on the fence, but I'm sort of like, well, you could go and get Steven Gerrard. Is he going to do any better with this lot than Will Steele's doing? Because where does he get the goals from? I'm not sure where the goals come from. And will Sport Republic back him in the January window? They didn't back Ivan Juric, did they? Now, whether that would have been a good thing or not, who knows? But so, and they wouldn't back Ralph, would they, in the summer? When in Ralph's last season, they didn't back him in the summer, did they? So
do you think he's done?
I think he's done. I think he's done because you cannot be 21st in the Championship after coming down from the Premier League, spending the money we spent. Now, whether you can argue whether the players they bought are the right ones or not, he has got one of the best squads in the league. And Lee, I completely agree with you. He's got to get Fellows. He's got to get Azaz. He's got to get them playing. You know, as you said, two players with the highest assists in the league last year, lots of Championship experience. He's playing them here, he's playing them there, then he's dropping them. Consistency is key. New players coming into a new team, they've got to play, haven't they? They've got to be consistently on the pitch playing, and that's not happening. So, as much as I like Will Steele and the dream, the gamble that was bringing Will Steele in with his big reputation, you know, a young up-and-coming manager from Europe, you know, lots of media attention around him, wasn't there? You know, this lad's going to be the next big thing. The gamble's failed, as far as I can see. 1st of November, 21st in the Championship, not acceptable. And his in-game management, just not good enough. But we knew when they hired him, it was a gamble. He was going to have to learn on the job. But I think he's swimming against the tide now that he just can't get his head above. I think it's gone too far now. So although I said I'm sort of on the fence, I'm not on the fence. I think he's got to go. And I will feel sorry for him because I really wanted it to work for him because I really liked him.
Agreed.
But he's not done what he said he was going to do, which was the high press, high energy, lots of crosses into the box, etc., etc. He's not done it. You know, and I don't know where he goes from here, really. I mean, is it the right time to get rid of him now? When is it ever the right time to get rid of the manager? I mean, the sensible thing would be to let him go until the international break. But if he wins the next two games, is he on a reprieve? You know what Saints have been like this season. They've got a positive result, and you think, right, brilliant, right, let's take this forward. And then the next game, they've just been dreadful. So I think it is time. I think it is time. Who they get, I don't trust Sport Republic to buy a good bag of apples, to be honest, let alone hire a new manager.
Oh, such a good analogy.
Who do I want? I mean, I've got that list up there that you sent earlier.
Who would you want, Matt? Come on.
If I could have any,
if anything wasn't an option and you had the choice, who would you want in to manage Southampton Football Club for the remainder of this year and beyond?
I'll give it a big Ange.
Massive. And who? But okay. And before you say anything more around whys, whats, and all of that, who do you think, if they get rid of Will Steele tonight or in the next week, who do they bring in? Who do you actually think the club will bring in? Not what you want.
Probably somebody of the caliber of David Wagner, I expect. No, seriously.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
I don't see them going out. I just don't trust. I just don't trust Sport Republic to make a good decision. I mean, their whole ethos since they've been at the club has been by young, unproven players that have got high potential that in a year or two we can sell for profit. Yeah. I think it's the same. I think they take the same philosophy with the managers.
Yeah.
Look at Nathan Jones. Look at Ivan Juric. Look at Russell Martin. Will Still. Look, lots of potential, but it could go wrong. It might go right. We're just not sure. But, it's worth a gamble.
Hopefully in 2 years, we'll have a team come in and poach our manager for 3 or 4 million quid.
Yeah, exactly that.
The same as, yeah.
Exactly that. And they've got to start thinking about the now. I need half a dozen players now with championship experience, leaders on the pitch that are going to help my young kids develop and become better players, instead of making those young kids be front and foremost and hope that they can do it when they can't. So I'd love a Steven Gerrard. Will they go down that road like Coventry have done with Frank Lampard? When Frank Lampard was a bit of a, he was talked about, wasn't he, a little while ago for us, and we were like, oh, I'm not sure about Frank Lampard, but look what he's doing with Coventry.
Yeah, but the players kill themselves for these guys.
Exactly that.
So
exactly that.
You said, not to argue with you at all, but you said if Gerrard came in, who's going to score the goals, Yo-Yo? These players have only got to give that extra 5%. Adam Armstrong, you've only got to get another couple of percent out of him, and he is scoring 20 goals.
Yeah.
Downs was good at a few years ago.
Extra 5% out of Downs, get him engaged, best player in the league again.
Agreed.
It's not to bang on about Gerrard, but it's someone who would come in and the players would look at and go, "Fuck me."
Yeah.
Okay.
They almost play the club are taking this serious, aren't they?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they have to look at themselves.
Yeah. And he is a winner with a capital W. Lampard has done exactly that with Coventry. Lampard is a winner with a capital W. Opens up his jacket and look at all his winners' medals. Lads, I know what I'm on about.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when Gordon Strachan came in to us, and we were like, oh, I think he just got relegated with Coventry or something. He'd not had a very successful managerial career at that point. And he came in and we were like, oh, God, I mean, this is not. But he was exactly that, a big name player, somebody that the players listened to when he spoke, didn't take any shit. And I really enjoyed that period that Gordon Strachan was in charge. It was a really good time. We played some really good stuff, and we did all right. And we competed with everyone. And so, yeah, I mean, Gerrard, I'd have no problem with Gerrard.
Look at the last few successful managers. Strachan, quality player. Hoddle, quality player. Pochettino, quality player. Koeman, quality player. Then Ralph was a Champions League manager. He had managed in the Champions. So he was a big name manager rather than a player.
Yeah.
And then, the others have just been nobodies.
Yeah.
And they attract talent,
It's the dream, but.
And they attract talent with it, as well. When you go into the transfer windows, all of a sudden, people want to play for a Gerrard, a Koeman, or, whoever it is, because all of a sudden the club doesn't matter. So if you come up, what was it with Liam Delap, wasn't it, last year? He was at the Southampton training ground last year and chose Ipswich.
Yeah.
Madness. But, you can sort of see why he was scoring goals for fun with Ipswich. No doubt he probably would have done for us, but clearly he saw something. He went, nah, don't have a look at that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
what about you then, Dan?
I'd love Gerrard. He's someone I idolised growing up as a young lad, and his credentials speak for themselves. I think they sack Will Still. I think he's gone. I think the announcement is imminent. To be honest, if he does stay and we go into Tuesday and lose, my goodness me, there's genuinely going to be some pissed off people come next Saturday. I think he's gone. I think he is gone, and I think we have a quick appointment. I think they have to. They have to have a manager in. I don't want none of this. Adam Lallana is going to take it over for a game and this, that, and the other. I want a manager in place by 6 o'clock in the evening. You have, if you're going to take this division seriously and give ourselves the best chance. Because again, what I don't want is Lallana to take charge for one game, win and it looked quite good, and they go, "There you go, ads. You've got the job," and then it goes to shit on Lallana because that's not fair, because he's been a good servant for the club. You know, yes, he's got credentials, but not credentials he necessarily deserves, is what I'll say. You know, he's part of a really good Liverpool team, but a fantastic player, and he's got great knowledge. He's not ready to be a manager. He isn't.
I don't even know if he's got his coaching badges to allow him to do it.
Oh, who knows? I don't know. You know what the deal is with that. So I hope that isn't the case. Yeah, I'm on with you, Lee. I'd love Gerrard to be the name, but I can absolutely see it being some clown like David Wagner, because he'll be cheap. He'll play an ugly style of football, and he won't. He'll just go, "Do you know what? Might not win, but I'll make us hard to beat." And then we might get a scrappy 1-2-0. And all of a sudden, also with that type of manager, Damien Downs all of a sudden has a bit less pressure, because he knows he isn't going to have to do too much attacking if he's on the pitch. And any goal he is going to get, he just has to be in the right place at the right time. And he might only get one chance a week, if that. So I can genuinely see us going down that route and it being really, really ugly. 2 games this week, haven't we? So Wednesday away at QPR, and then at home again. You know what to end on? I guess we'll do some predictions again to kind of try and wrap up here. Wednesday first. Let's do it game by game. I think we lose 2-1.
Depends who the manager is. If Will Steele's in charge, I think we lose. I had a bad feeling about today. I predicted the 3-1 at Bristol, didn't I?
You did, yeah. On the way up.
Bristol are better than us. They're bigger than us. They're a better championship team. We're too naive. I think if Will Steele's still the manager, I think we lose to QPR. And I think if we lose to QPR and he is the manager, I think he will be gone before Sheffield Wednesday. Because there's every chance if we lose to QPR, we're in the bottom 3. I think the second you're in the bottom 3, he should be gone now, in my opinion. But I don't think we beat
Sheffield on Saturday, Lee.
Say it again.
Sheffield on next Saturday. You think, again, to take the manager out of consideration for these ones?
I think we lose to QPR, and I think we can possibly get a result against Wednesday. Possibly. I think that this is why, you know, but I mean, we've never really got a good manager bounce, have we, when we've had managers? But if we lose Wednesday night and then we go to St Mary's and he's still in charge, it's just, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
You're not asking for trouble. I can see 1 point out of the next 2 games. And then we will be in the bottom 3.
Yeah, that's dire. Matt?
I was just going through the list of names of that thing you sent me earlier. I mean, there's some decent names in there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. There really. I got it up a second ago.
I mean, Ralph, I can't see ever coming back, but Michael Carrick, Lee Carsley, Brendan Rodgers. Nobody's mentioned that, but I can't see him coming to us.
Can't see it. And from what you know, I don't know if you guys have read the Celtic chairman's comments, sort of post him resigning. And it seemed like there was a bit of a stinker going on at the club. And, you know, a lot of people have said a couple of times now with Rodgers, he creates a bit of a toxic atmosphere.
Yeah.
Do we need that? Do we need that right now? Is that the smartest thing? No, I don't think so.
Alex Revel. Who's Alex Revel?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
So
David Wagner. No, not interested in that. Gary O'Neill. You just spoke about Dan. I'm not. He's meant to be a good coach. I mean, he's done a fair few bits for England, hasn't he, in the England youth setup? But
I'm not having it.
No, Carlos Corberán. I mean, he was West Brom manager, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Is he not?
He's
not at Valencia anymore because he went to Valencia, didn't he? This season? Is he gone already?
Where he is?
I thought he went to Valencia. I mean, this is a list of.
He's the current head coach of Valencia.
Well, he's not going to leave Valencia to come to us, is he? Jesus. Gareth Southgate, never going to happen. Solskjaer, I thought he was in Turkey.
So he interviewed last year, apparently.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of the ones that were really, rumoured, and then they announced Juric, didn't they?
Yeah. Right.
So they've obviously already been down that path. Whether they look at it again, who knows?
I thought he was at
He was at Besiktas.
Besiktas. Is he gone from there now?
I'm just having a quick look.
I thought he'd been there a couple of years, and I thought he was doing all right.
No, Solskjaer was dismissed.
Oh. Well, Turkey's a tough league, I suppose. But
there's no holding back from those fans.
Russell Martin, no.
Oh.
Gerrard, we've spoken about. Ange Postecoglou, no way he comes to us. Liam Rosenior, I mean, he's still in France.
He's not going to leave where he is.
No,
he's doing really well in France. Mark Robbins, no way he leaves Stoke to come to us.
And then you've got Paul Heckingbottom. Just beat us.
Yeah,
why is he going to leave?
Yeah, that's it. Michael Skubala. I mean, I never heard of this bloke.
No.
Paul Trollope. Where's he? Is he? Oh, he's our assistant manager, isn't he?
He's our assistant. He's our assistant.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that happening.
Well, no, because I think if they get rid of Steele, because he's part of the staff, I think they'll wipe out the lot.
Well, maybe. Jesse Marsh.
Mention Jesse Marsh, please.
No, he's still at Canada. He's still at Canada, isn't he?
Hope so. Hopefully, he stays there.
And then Bruno Lager. I mean, there's no way he comes to us.
I think the only likely ones on that list are Carsley,
Carrick,
I'd say, is a good chance.
But is Carsley still not
there is an
21 manager?
Sniff at Gerrard, but I don't know why Gerrard turned down the Rangers job.
I've just seen today. He said he's doing a match this afternoon or tonight, and he was with Steve McManaman, and he just said it just wasn't quite the right time. His family was still in Dubai. It was all to do that, so it wasn't quite the right time. He stopped short of saying he wanted the Saints job, but he just said it wasn't quite the right time. So
maybe.
I don't care what anybody says. We're still one of the biggest clubs in the league.
Yeah.
Yep.
A manager could come in, get 2 or 3 wins on the spin, and all of a sudden we're back up there. We've got some confidence, and we're in with a shout of making the playoffs.
Yep.
And if you end the season strongly, there's every chance you win the playoffs.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So it's not all doom and gloom, but the club have got to get this right again. They left it too late with Russell Martin. I hope they learn from their mistakes, but we know they won't. So it's going to be David Wagner.
Anyway, predictions. I think we're going to lose at QPR.
Yeah.
And if we lose at QPR, I can't see it being a decent thing to allow Will Steele to carry on for Saturday, because that place will just be toxic down there, in my opinion. So I think Will Steele stays for Wednesday night, but I think we lose. QPR are not a bad side.
No.
Good team, doing well.
Yeah.
If we see the corner flag tomorrow morning, then we'll be back on. Episode 3 might be coming a little bit sooner.
An emergency
meeting, something like that.
And then for me, Saturday, you want to think that we'll beat Sheffield Wednesday, but I'm just, like you said earlier, Lee, Chansiri's gone, the management, the players, the fans, they're all lifted. I think they're unbeaten now since Chansiri's gone, because they won. Didn't they win last week? I can't remember. They've got the tails up, haven't they? I think we draw.
Well, let's find out. We'll come back together.
What are you saying for Wednesday, Dan?
I think we lose 2-1.
Lose 2-1. Oh, you see, you've gone with a score, but okay, yeah. And then Saturday,
no.
You think we lose 1-0, Lee?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we lose 2-0.
I just want to score a goal. Look, do you know what? At this point, I don't even care if we lose. I just want to celebrate a goal. I'm desperate. It was such a good feeling at Bristol to celebrate a goal. To be honest,
goal, yeah.
It was, and yeah, you mentioned it, Matt. At Bristol, the fans were electric. To be honest, we were loud. I don't care what anyone else says about their away fans. I do think when we travel very, very well, and that's when you've got the true fans that are there. We were brilliant. Even as we were losing, we did play well. So yeah, kudos to all the fans that are travelling up and down the country every single week, because it's not pretty.
No,
it's not pretty at all. And then I think when we get to Sheffield on the Saturday, yeah, 1-1, maybe even a horrible, dirty 0-0. To be honest, I don't see us winning it.
Really?
Unless we have a fresh face.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think the Wednesday match for me, Stephen Gerrard will be in charge. We win 3-0. No, I think
You've put lose 1-0.
You, Dan?
No, you have.
Yeah, we'll lose 1-0 to QPR.
Yeah. Saturday, what are you saying then?
I think we'll get 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
But I could revise that if there is a new man in the dugout.
Hey, if episode 3 comes, we're redoing them all.
Fine.
Right. There we go. Okay. Locked in. QPR, that isn't it? QPR. And that is Chef Wed. Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting few days for the club, isn't it? So I'm looking forward to listening to Going Home with Adam and Joe.
I started it just before this. I have started it about 7 minutes in. I've got to go to a taxi run in a minute, and I'll be listening to the rest of it.
Did they tear into them?
Yeah, can't wait to.
They will tear into him. Joe will not be happy.
Joe was not happy. I mean, I was listening to the game on the commentary today, and Joe was not happy, at all. He was actually silent for long periods of time, and it was just Adam Blackmore commentating. I think he was that annoyed and sort of running out of things to say because the excuses aren't there. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very big 24 hours for Southampton. I think if we don't hear anything tomorrow morning, we know he's in charge for Wednesday. We'll see what happens, won't we?
It's interesting what you said about the away fans, Dan, because you said to me earlier today, Lee, didn't you, that the Charlton away game had gone to general sale?
Yeah.
So
wow.
I think for an away game, and especially a London away game, that's the first time for a long, long time that's happened.
Well,
normally,
it has sold out
normally
now.
the London it's sold out, but it's gone to general.
But it went to general sale.
Wow.
And normally those London games, they go
like
within a matter of days.
That
don't they?
13 games, didn't it?
Mm.
Jeez.
Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to watching Nathan Jones' knee slide in front of us.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
I'm gutted I can't go because I'm working, but yeah, Nathan Jones.
I'm sure our good man Marshmallow Patella will give him some beans for you, Matt. Don't worry.
I'm sure he will.
Sure. Right, we'll call it that then, shall we?
Yep. Until next time.
Until next time.
Goodbye to all our fans.